Hey there guys, and good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever and whenever you are, and welcome back to another Forager Nuclear episode. If you don't remember, last episode we jumped into the portals that formed in the Scorch to the south and entered an alternate dimension called the Void. I mean, we've been talking about it a lot throughout this series, so I don't think I need to explain exactly what it is or why it's dangerous. But we went there and fought a bunch of stuff and came out alive successfully, thankfully. Now, this video might seem a little bit goofy, for lack of a better word, and that's because when I recorded it, OBS didn't exactly record the sound, so I'm speaking here as editing me as a blah, 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 from a voiceover. So I'm kind of just rewatching myself run around like a goofy person, swinging my toys around and commentating over it. But you may notice that our island is looking quite a bit different from last time. Most obvious thing is probably the fact that there is a new field, a new berry field, which is much bigger than the other field and only grows berries. Figured I should get that in order to make much more fishing traps. And there's also a couple droids around, increasing the production speed of our spirit tables. I think that's what they're called. But either way, as you could just see, I've now put on the, well, I guess not now, but I put on the void pickaxe to make, which I personally love it. I tried to make more factories, but I didn't really have the resources at the time, so I kind of just sort of ran around clearing stuff up in the graveyard, because as you can see, I have majorly neglected that area in terms of clearing it out. Because I AFK'd for a bit to grab a bunch of resources, we had quite a few lava eels. Unfortunately, not enough to upgrade the rod at all, but we are one off, so hopefully next episode we should be able to do that. But as you just saw as well, another thing I did was I saw a couple skull sigils in the market, so I thought might as well buy them up, so that's exactly what I did. So what I'm planning on doing, well, I say what I'm planning on doing, what I in fact did do later on in the episode, slight spoilers I suppose, but there's a bit of a boss fighting event happening later. But either way, as you can see, I got a little bit bored waiting for the pickaxe to finish producing, so I kind of just went right ahead and started harvesting up all the berries from the farm. Which, I mean, it's a very useful farm to have, to be honest. Berries, fishing traps are so expensive now. You need so many berries, and so I figured, you know, might as well install a massive field for them if I need a massive amount. And I mean, if we ever find we have too many, you can always just sell a bunch, but I mean, I highly doubt that'll come to pass. I remember on like an old save I had, I ended up just having like massive berry fields. Oh, with that, we got the otherworldly feat. Oh yeah, that's from making the void pickaxe, because it kind of produced whilst I was in the interface, I suppose, to plant, I guess the state more than anything, to plant the berry seeds. We didn't really just flash up on screen, but it will in a minute, once the last of these seeds are planted. And there we go, we got the void pickaxe for attack damage and resources, and plants explode when destroyed. I really love this thing. I didn't know what it did, but finding out, I got very excited because, you know, explosions are cool. Who doesn't love a good explosion? I know I certainly do love them, as you can probably tell a little bit. But either way, coming up and replanting all the crops in this farmland as well. I feel like I was saying something earlier, but I can't remember what, so, you know, ignoring that. Yeah, you might be able to tell a bit from the commentary in this video, definitely, but also just how I play the games in general. I'm very scatterbrained most of the time. I'll start doing something, and then immediately after, I'll start something else. I guess I was looking at making a cosmic pickaxe, but oh yeah, I put the void guide on because I figured, you know, I might as well make it because it's not going to do anything. So, you know, you're going to need to make it for the feed to just get it out of there. But either way, heading down into the Scourge, I think, oh yeah, I came down to this guy to do the quest. You made it. Congratulations. You have earned my super special magic scepter. I could have just gotten those things myself, to be honest. This scepter is far more valuable than all of that. Yep, and with that, okay, so that explains later some of those fishing traps that disappeared. I didn't realize it nuked them. But with that we got the magic scepter, which also meant we had every single artifact and had opened up every single treasure chest. And I think potentially we had done every NPC quest as well. Which, I mean, you know, I'd say that's pretty good. That's pretty solid. But either way, coming through here, another thing you might have noticed in the inventory is that I have an extra seal, which is the museum seal. You get it for completing all the museum bundles. There weren't any other bundles to finish. We'd already done them all. I just realized I had never actually spoken to the museum clerk guy. So I kind of just went in and had a little chat with him. Because I know there was a feat for it as well. I figured there was no point in just leaving it undone. So, you know, I went to have a chat with them. Another thing you might notice in this episode that's slightly different is that we haven't gone around and cleared out all the resources in the grassland yet. And the reason for that is actually because there's not really much space for them to grow anymore, to be honest. Because, the central island and the central eastern island are kind of taken over by our forge. Southeast is our the Hylian Skylian Construction Center, I believe it's still called. Northeast and North Middle, or Northeast and just North, I guess, are both farmland. West is Vault and Bank Island, and South is our shrine. So it's kind of just Southwest and Northwest where resources could spawn, but Northwest is the fairy fountain, so that takes up a decent chunk of land. Southwest is the little guy's house, the druid's house, so that also takes up a decent chunk of land. So there's not really any space per se for them to spawn in anyway. But either way, as you can see, I ran through and collected up all of the money from the banks because there is a couple feats to do with getting money later on. Oh, I guess with that we had the Void Guide. XP gained increased by 90%. Pretty useless to us considering we're at max level, but you know, need it for the feat like I said earlier. But as I was saying, there's a couple feats to do with us getting money. One of them is just having, or a couple of them are having a certain amount. Some of them are getting a certain amount specifically from banks. But heading through here, as you can see, I grabbed up another really cool looking droid, as well as some voidstone here from the market street, and another droid, which is a really cute bee. I really like that bee. There was another droid in there. I was going to get it, but then the market's reset, which, you know, I wasn't too happy about because I wanted that droid. But either way, we got a slime sigil, which, again, we use very soon, actually, looking at the timeline here in Capca. But nothing else really all too useful. So, with Nicole and Irachi, I think, I went and took them over to our factory area because, as far as I'm aware, with the droids, you can place them on the little workstations and they will make him, I think it's 50% more efficient. At least I believe you can. It might just do nothing, but if nothing else, they look cool just to be sat on top of it. I know there's loads of them, and I might actually look into seeing what ones there are. Just trying to collect them all because I mean, I personally think they are really cool, and I would be happy to collect them all. But either way, heading up here, I cut out the area in our arena, and I'm about to go and fight a bunch of bosses. So, I'll let you watch that, and I'll see you in a minute. Well, hey there again, guys. As you can see, I have indeed finished fighting all of the bosses, which were, in case you couldn't count them, 3 skeleton kings and 1 king slime. A lot of kings, but as you can see, I've gone right ahead and stuck all of those spirit orbs into damage upgrades, which means I'm now doing 8.5 damage per swing of my sword to these dummies, and 21 damage per shot from my bow, which, you know, I am pretty happy with. I mean, obviously you can always increase, but for now I'm pretty happy with it. So, coming through here and seeing what this merchant is selling here in the desert, and one of those things is the atomic bombs, which is there. Not gonna question why that guy has those, just going to let him, you know, live his life. But either way, you may have noticed during the time lapse, one of the skeleton kings kind of destroyed a pretty big part of our setup there. So I'm gonna go right ahead and put those walls that I took out to fix it back, and go right ahead and put on 45 more lots of void steel to craft up, because, you know, you can never have too much void steel. I mean, we need it for so much, so, you know, can never have too much. But either way, coming through here and checking out what feats we have left to get. If I remember correctly, they're mainly like very grindy stuff to do with building a certain amount of structures, building on all the water tiles, or just having loads and loads of money, which I do not have access to at the minute, unfortunately. But, you know, we'll be able to get there in the end. But either way, coming through here, clearing out a couple of the resources in the desert, and making my way down to the quarry with my new explosive pickaxe, and grabbing up a bunch of resources, honestly, quite rapidly now. Oh, I completely dusted that demon with that. Wow, I did not notice that whilst I was playing. I didn't notice how much that guy just kind of poofed. He literally poofed. I wonder if this guy's gonna poof as well. No, I just hit him with the pickaxe. Well, I mean, that does work, I suppose. I mean, a sword would have been better, but hey, there's one attacking the little shrine for the portals. Well, I hope I went to deal with that guy. I didn't. I was letting him attack you down there. Why? Maybe I didn't notice him. I don't know. I don't remember him. But to be honest, I recorded this like 5 days ago now. So don't really remember much of what I did. I do remember one thing I did later, which we will get onto. But anyway, coming through here and grabbing the excavator feet from our little shrine. You know, grabbing up as many resources as possible. Can never have too many from here in the grassland. I mean, we have a large amount of gemstones now, which I'd say personally I think is pretty solid. But anyway, coming through here, and I'm surprised I didn't sell those. Genuinely thought I was about to go and sell those fossils, but I suppose that I didn't, which is interesting. But either way, coming on over here, what I wanted to do was try and make some of these nuclear fuel cells and some of this nuclear machinery, because I was curious what it could do, basically. I didn't know, I had no idea, so I thought, you know, might as well check it out. So, sticking on those fuel cells to produce, because I need those first, and coming down here while we wait to begin our clearing up of the little area around our graveyard shrine. And, I mean, of course, grabbing industrious, because if we're going to be making stuff in the factories, they take a long time anyway, so might as well speed that up a little. And using our newly enhanced Storm Stick Zap Trap Thunder Rod to yet again increase the production speed on some of those fuel cells. But either way, I literally have no recollection of what I do next. Like I said, the audio software that I was using essentially shattered to pieces. I think I've fixed it now. Might have something to do with the software on my PC updating, causing all of the drivers I use to suddenly become out of date. But either way, coming through and checking the shade levels, which are still at 95%, even after we went through the void last episode, and honestly purged a pretty decent chunk of the creatures that were living down there. I mean, we got caught up by I think it was the giant demons that stopped us from continuing any further. They were indeed a little bit of an issue, but either way, coming through here, clearing out some of the demons and some of the resources down here in not the grassland, this is the scorched, around some of our, I keep saying little shrines, but they're not really little. They take up 4 tiles. It's the same space as a furnace. I mean, it's quite a decent chunk less space than something like a factory per se, but it's still not exactly little. But either way, just clearing up some of the just sort of bystanding resources around. And wow, I really have this area looking nice and clean. And it's at this point that I realise that the fishing traps were destroyed earlier by the chest from the wizard guy when we finished this quest. So, replacing some of those and adding an extra one as well. I'm really looking to just build a ton of them just in that area, just to have them going, basically. Because, I mean, it's always going to be useful to have fishing traps down there for the lava eels, not just to be able to sell them, but to be able to craft with them as well. I mean, eventually it'll probably just transition into being able to sell them, but you know, since we need to get 1 trillion coins for one of the feats, it'll be quite useful. But either way, checking out Market Street and grabbing up this 25 landfill, not grabbing that beat sigil because I still have not fully recovered from what happened the last time that guy showed up. That was not a good day for the island. But checking out the rest of the stores here in Market Street, I don't believe there was anything else that I grabbed. Oh no, No, I didn't. I'm honestly surprised I didn't grab those star scrolls. Star fragments are quite useful, to be totally honest. But if wait, dusting that that slime and clearing up some of the, clearing up the bridges here around our farm, because I want to build up the land masses around there so that I can continue doing the small little border around it, just because I think the border just kind of, I don't know, it kind of looks nice, to be honest. But as you can see, the amount of water tiles around is slowly but surely decreasing, which is actually good. It's good and bad. It means we'll have less space to like make fishing traps and stuff if we want to ever build more around. But I mean, like, at least we'll have that feat, that 1 feat. But anyway, coming down here and cooking up some more stone floors, going with 20 of them it seems. And heading back up, I think I might start replanting if I am correct in thinking. I mean, I'd hope I replant the field. Yeah. So, taking all of the seeds that we have and slowly making our way through and replanting this massive berry field as Sylveon in sunglasses just sits below us and watches as we make a bunch of skulls. That is a quote that would be very interesting out of context. One of my friends, actually, a little story time, one of my friends used to have like a little quote book of sorts where they just write down any like weird or funny things that we'd say out of context. But it was the best thing ever. It was so funny because there was so many random things in there, and we just occasionally look back over it. And I accidentally glitched a plant and misclicked there, didn't I? But I mean, as you can see, our nuclear fuel cell is in our inventory now, which I think the nuclear structures in this game are actually they're really useful, to be honest, and they're actually just kind of cool looking as well. Some of them, like, they're actually dope. Like, I love them. But either way, finishing planting up, I can't remember if that one singular tile became an issue or not. I feel like it did. Yeah, 100%. Oh, I remember now. It became an issue for a short period of time, basically. Until I just was like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna not deal with that. But either way, coming through here and trying to speed up some of this fiberglass. Don't remember why I wanted to speed up the fiberglass, but I apparently did. I don't particularly remember why, but oh, I know. I wanted a spare factory to make the nuclear machinery, but I thought at that point I might as well just use the resources I've gotten since the start of the episode and just build that factory I was going to make. But if wait, coming through here and chucking in that nuclear fuel cell as well as some cosmic steel, which not easy to make or acquire that cosmic steel is, so kind of hurt a little bit trying to have to use that there. But throwing that cosmic steel, the nuclear machinery, no, the nuclear fuel cell, if I can get that right, and our little onyx relic in there, getting rid of all of those wheats, not all of them actually, just those that little square, just so I could replant them and then have that tile freed up. I'm pretty sure I placed a ground tile on it very shortly, just before anything really goes on there. But grabbing the excavator buff from our shrine yet again, and I wonder how many fossils I have now. Surely quite a few, right? I mean, it was 22 before. I don't know, I'll have to check that later. I'm getting very sidetracked, as I've said before, happens alarmingly frequently for me where I just get sidetracked on stuff. But either way, what was I running around for? I'm just running around Vault Island and I don't know why. Either way, coming through here with not the last of the paths, but certainly getting closer to the last of them, and heading up and clearing some of the resources out up here in the glacial province in the north, which yet again clearing them out a lot quicker than I used to be able to, just absolutely smiting any natural resource that appears on the map. It's just like, and it's gone. I don't actually know if that came up, but I clicked my fingers. But either way, here is an ice mage who has suddenly decided they want to return, even though I completely smited their group and their leader multiple times in the void. But either way, grabbing up the industrial buff from this shrine. We're doing a lot of shrine hopping today. Don't really do that much anymore, but this episode we've been doing a decent chunk of it. And hopping back down, I feel like surely I should be nearly at the point where I have all of the paths I need. I believe I'm at that point nearly, at least. I hope so, because I don't want to be waiting too much longer. But either way, as you can see, I then acquired another one of these nuclear machineries. So I went up and tried to use it on the factory that was making the fuel cells in, and it turned it into a nuclear factory, giving us the mad scientist feat. I had another fuel cell, so I chucked it in there to see what it did, because it looked like it needed to power it. And then kind of waited, because it didn't look like it was producing it any faster, so I didn't really see the point in having the factory, considering I was using fuel cells to power it. And if it wasn't going to go any faster, what was the point of wasting the resources using the fuel cells to power it? So I figured, you know what, maybe it's not necessarily that it produces faster, but it just produces more. So I used my Stormstick Zaptrap Thunder Rod, gave it a little bit of juice, jazzed it up a bit, waited for the next fuel cell to produce, and bada bing, bada boom, got 2 fuel cells out of it. Wasn't even double items. Actually, I haven't got double items on one of these nuclear structures yet. I wonder if double items on a nuclear structure gives you 4. And if it does, then that's looking pretty snazzy to me. But either way, at this point, I figured, you know what, I'm gonna stick on some more machinery, because this nuclear stuff, it seems quite useful. So I stuck that on, headed back to our little forge area, and I think I thought I'd stuck something on by now to produce. I think I'm about to go do that. Wait. Yeah, okay. I go right ahead and stick on the void sword, I believe. Yeah, stick on the void sword. And look at the magnum opus, which we will need to make later, but we'll need quite a bit more paper for that. Might make it in the little, I can't remember what it's called, but like the table with all the books in it, that stuff. Might also just wait for another excavator buff and then just dig, baby, dig. But either way, heading back down here into the skull biome and watching as my screen lights up from the Unk Charm thingamadoodle. Absolutely just going livid. It's just gone livid, attacking the amount of skeletons I just spawned in, destroying all them gravestones. Can't believe after all this time I'm still running in and just absolutely decimating people's graves. Can't believe I do that. Wow, there's a lot of demons down here as well. I really, oh, don't worry guys, I dealt with the demons. It's fine. It's fine, the demons are gone, no need to worry. No more demons. Gonna just go slash dash bash and they're out of here. But either way, coming through and just kind of clearing up the resources. I know at a point where we have to say we have a lot of everything would be putting it lightly, but I mean, it's Forager. The amount of stuff we need is insane because we need iron, coal, and gold to make iron ingots and gold ingots. Then we need those and more coal to make steel. Then we need the steel, more coal, and all the gemstones to make rolled steel, which we need along with crystals and obsidian, I believe, to make the electronics, which we then need along with conjunction of some other stuff to make the void steel, which we then need to make the cosmic steel, which you get the point. But either way, as you can see, we now have the void sword. It does 4 attack damage and occasionally shoots fireballs when I swing with it. But either way, running up here, I believe are... Oh, yep, testing. We now do 19 damage instead of 18.5, and our nuclear machinery was done. But instead of just sticking it on another factory, I thought we're producing a lot of void steel, so let's see if I can stick it on here. Couldn't stick it on there, so I was thinking, can we stick on anything else? And lo and behold, yes, we can. We can indeed stick it on a sewing machine, which, honestly speaking, I didn't expect. But I'm gonna have to play with this nuclear machinery a bit more in the future. But either way, wrapping all of this up, looking at the time, I don't really have much longer with you guys, so I'm just gonna do my little wrap-up spiel now. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry again for the goofy misalignment with the audio and the actual visuals in the game. Like I said, software broke. I think I fixed it, so hopefully it should be back to normal next time. But either way, like I said, I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. I know I certainly enjoyed obviously playing the game like I always do, but also just kind of commenting over it, in retrospect, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and Fireball, missed that guy. Silly Fireball. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, leave a comment down below telling me what you think, all the usual stuff. I always ask for it. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Would prefer if you did, like always, but again, you don't have to. So, with that being said, I have to dip now, but I will see you next time. Have a good one, you all, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.